Less than 3 years ago, I was only just getting started with my online fitness coaching business, and I was starting completely from scratch, guys. I mean, zero transformations. I was never even a PT before. I just went straight into this from my corporate job. Now, last month, we just hit $70K in revenue, and we're having a massive impact on so many lives. I've never really told the full story, so today I'm gonna run through exactly how it's happened. To help you understand a little bit more, I need to take you back to the beginning of the journey. I grew up in Hertfordshire in the UK, and I never was really into school. Like, I just couldn't focus. I was one of those kids. And I think it's important to take you through this just so you know exactly why I do what I do now. So school just did not interest me, like, whatsoever. But I was on and off with the gym since I was 16. I've been in the gym for a while, and it's taught me a lot, it really has. There's so many transferable lessons from the gym that you can take into your life, and that's why I'm so passionate about it. I was seeing the physical changes, and it was really having a big impact for me when I was growing up. But then for A levels, like the final 2 years of school in the UK, I went down a bit of a slippery slope. Like, I was going out a lot, drinking a lot, doing lots of different stuff that I shouldn't have been doing, and it was really having a big impact on my mental health. I was not really going in the gym as much during this period, and it was really taking its toll. I did still have my work ethic though. I was actually, funnily enough, working at KFC, serving up chicken, very different to what I'm doing now, but it taught me a lot about actually what life can look like if you really don't follow your purpose. I was really absolutely hating it when I was at KFC, but I was just doing what everyone else was doing, you know, just a bit of part-time work, didn't really know much about online business or anything like that. And then I ended up like not going to uni as well. So I was sort of following the path that other people were with the sort of part-time work whilst I was doing my A levels, but then I didn't go to university. So I didn't actually follow that path that everyone was doing out of my friendship group and most people in my year at school. But even though I didn't go into that traditional path of going to university, I still had like that programming in me, right? That I needed to go and get a stable job. Like, it was the right thing to do. Work hard, play it safe, you know, follow the path that society wants you to. So I did end up in London. I was working in the insurance industry, which was absolutely terrible, guys. I was commuting in there every day, doing an hour there, an hour back and forth from London, and it just sucked. To be honest with you, I convinced myself that I liked it, but I didn't. I was just doing what everyone around me was saying success was. Like, oh yeah, you know, Jack, you're doing so well, you got a job in London whilst everyone else is at university still. Internally, I still felt just so unfulfilled with what I was doing. I think the best way to describe it, guys, is I was just empty. Like, deep down, I had energy in me. Like, deep down, I was so fired up when I started that job. I had ambition, I had passion. Even though it wasn't too exciting, like the work, I was really trying to bring as much energy to it as possible and looking, you know, to change things up and put my own spin on things, but that's not what they wanted. They just wanted someone to listen and just do the work. I had this ambition inside of me, and I was getting back into fitness at this time, but I just had no direction, no purpose inside of me, which I think is the most important thing. I just knew that I wasn't meant to be doing a job like this. I was stuck in it though, right? Like, this is what happens to a lot of people, just clocking in, clocking out, but still knowing deep down that I'm capable of more, but not taking action on it. That's where the drinking then crept in even more. And this is just like purely down to the fact that so many people work in London, they're just numbing themselves because they're doing all the commuting, they're doing a job they don't like, they're not fulfilling their purpose. This ultimately is why a lot of people end up drinking, obviously because of the social side of it as well, but also just because they are not happy with their lives. My boss at the time, I looked at him and he was what, like 60 years old? He just didn't really have an exciting life either. He was doing pretty boring stuff, and I was like looking at him, and then it sort of made sense to me then. That was like my light bulb moment. If I work here for 50 years and end up like this guy, am I gonna be happy? The simple answer was no. And then COVID happened. This is where a lot changed for me. I know COVID was a negative time for a lot of people, but for me, it was a bit of a lifesaver. I just took that opportunity to really reinvent myself. It just cut the noise out, and it just made me look internally. Like, I wasn't able to numb myself with drinking and just going out in pubs in London anymore. I could have done that at home, but I chose not to. I forced myself to look internally at what actually was going on. And this did cause a lot of reactions in different ways, guys, like looking for purpose in so many other things, right? I went vegan for a couple of years during COVID. Thankfully, I'm not vegan anymore, I'm happy to say. I stopped drinking, I quit my job. There's just so many things happening, guys, where I was just like looking for purpose as well. I was thinking about joining the Marines, couldn't end up doing that because I had a history of asthma. And then I just got like so into CrossFit as well. I was really just looking for a purpose. And like I said, one of those was a risky decision of leaving my job during COVID. It was such a boring job, and COVID really enabled me to just see that with a clear lens. Like before, I had the drinking, I had the distractions, but I didn't have that anymore. So it just made things so obvious to me. But fitness, on the other hand, it gave me confidence, it gave me discipline, and it gave me identity. This was like my passion, and this saved me during COVID, like really getting into the CrossFit. And I wanted to give that to other people. Like I saw a lot of people struggling, including people that were close to me, and I wanted to be able to help them in that way and make them feel the same way that I felt. So I started working as a physio assistant, also got my qualifications to become a PT. I just realized how much I loved helping people. I had a passion, like I just realized I had a passion now. And this is also around that same time where I realized actually that I can build something here. Like I can actually build something that matters. My initial thoughts was doing some in-person training with clients, but then I saw someone talking online about online coaching. The algorithm brought me some good adverts from some people online talking about coaching and doing it online, which was completely new to me. Like I was really skeptical about it, and I was sitting on the fence for a while about it, just thinking like, what is this? Like, how does that even work? After a while, I was thinking like, you know, what if this is real? It sounds like too good to be true. I did doubt myself at the start. Who am I to coach people? Yes, I was really passionate about it. I did have a lot of my own knowledge. Obviously, I did have my qualification, but I was like, you know, oh, really, am I experienced enough? I didn't have many followers as well. Like I obviously had 0 transformations at this point. Like I hadn't been coaching anyone in person. Obviously with the online, like with posting content, I was like, what if people judge me? And all those sorts of thoughts. And also, let me put this into perspective, guys. Like at this point, my mental health was still not in a good spot. Like, yes, the fitness had helped me a lot. Back in my insurance job during COVID, doing a presentation to the company, a short 2-minute segment of a presentation from my team, I was absolutely fucking bright red. Like my face was literally the same color as a tomato, and I couldn't speak. Like my heart was absolutely pounding. I literally could not breathe properly, which is just crazy different from how I am now. That is just because I wasn't aligned with my purpose. So this was a big step for me to like commit to actually posting content online. Obviously it was absolutely terrible at the start, don't get me wrong, but I was willing to push myself through this because it was something that I was passionate about, right? Naturally there was a lot of overthinking. I was hesitating about if it is the right decision, but then I realized like I've got nothing to lose, guys. Worst case scenario was stop doing it and go back to my job or another similar job, you know? And I just really drilled it into my head that people that judge you, they're only gonna do that because of their own insecurities, right? It's just a reflection on themselves, which, you know, might sound cringy to some people, but it's true. You know, I wasn't necessarily the best coach. There's a lot better coaches in the world. You know, there's obviously elite coaches. Someone said something that resonated with me. They said, as long as you know more than the person that you're coaching, that's the most important thing. You don't need to be the best coach in the world. You just need to be able to convey your message and help the person that you're helping. Like, you don't need to be an elite level coach that's coaching bodybuilders, for example. You just need to be able to be someone that resonates with the person that you're helping. So I invested in my first mentorship, which was a crazy turning point in my life, to be honest. It was a big moment for me. It was a lot of money at the time, especially as I just quit my job. I saw this guy speaking on Instagram for a few months whilst I was still in my job in London. And I was always thinking like, you know, if I do go into PT, like I'm gonna hit this guy up and, you know, see if it actually is true. This guy was talking about online coaching and working from anywhere. It seemed too good to be true. But his videos made me want to sign up to his mentorship. When I joined, there was a big belief shift, like right from the start. I realized something that no one had ever told me before. You are not just learning strategy when you join these types of programs. You are learning who you need to become as well. Just taking risks, believing that it is possible is a big part of it. Having that self-belief in yourself and in the goals that you're wanting to achieve. I thought to myself like, right, like if I'm not willing to invest in myself, then how can I ever expect my future online clients to invest in me? Right? It's just completely backwards. If I'm gonna think that these types of things are scams, then why would I be expecting other people to sign up to my online program? Like, it just doesn't make sense. And another big belief for me was when I was on the sales call with the guy from the mentorship, he asked me how much I want to be making at the end of the 12-month program. And I said 1K per month, guys. I generally said 1K per month. He was like, what are you talking about? Like, he thought I was joking and he thought I was just wasting his time. But this was a serious limiting belief for me. But when I joined, there was coaches doing 7K in there per month, 10K, and it was absolutely mind-blowing to me. I just put these guys on a pedestal that were earning 10K per month. Like, I thought it was just absolutely insane. Being surrounded by people that are doing well, like, had such a big impact on me and just shattering through my limiting beliefs. So I joined and I started posting the content, even when it felt uncomfortable. There was obviously uncomfortable uncomfortable moments. I just made sure I was like leaning into the fear instead of running from it. When you have that feeling of fear inside you, that is such an awesome sign. Like, you need to like be grateful for that, because that is such a good sign of something that you need to be leaning into, and not enough people do that. So it is difficult, but that's what it looks like when you're growing. I took my first few clients on as case study clients, like literally just for free. And it took me a few months to start getting my first couple of paid clients. And then at this point, like, I took the leap and I stopped working at my physio job. I was still only earning at this point 1K per month, but it was enough to live on because I was still living with my parents at the time, still living with my family. I didn't really have any outgoings, right? Like, this was still during COVID. It was okay for me to do this at the time and just take that leap. From that point, like months 3 to 6, I did deal with a lot. Business was growing, but very, very slowly. Obviously, not as quickly as I wanted. When you have your own business, you obviously want it to be growing as quickly as possible. Of course you do, but I didn't have any clients for a very long time. They would just be leaving early. I didn't really have a very good program at this point. Like, my coaching was good, but the systems weren't quite there. I would have like a couple people come on, then a couple people would leave. It was just like very up and down. There was a lot of overthinking involved in this stage as well for this few months, like the second quarter, I guess, of my business. Just overthinking of like, if I'm doing the right things, posting the right content. During this stage, I was just second guessing absolutely everything. Even like to the point of just changing my bio all the time, changing my niche, who I was speaking to. Like, I would sign a client up, guys, I'd be on top of the world, and then I'd lose them a couple of weeks later. My confidence would take a hit, and it was just like a knock-on effect from there. I was then like changing up my offer all the time because of that, because I was like, oh, am I doing the right thing? You know, one week I was helping busy professionals, then next week I was changing it to be more beginners, or, you know, whatever it might be. I was just going around in cycles. This just came down to overwhelm. At the end of the day, I just did not have the systems in place that I needed. I didn't have the clarity. I was trying too many random strategies that I was hearing people talk about. And it's, at the end of the day, this is like shiny object syndrome. You just keep looking for that new thing rather than just having clarity on what actually works. This period of time was a little bit chaotic. Another thing as well was like low engagement. Like, this was a big thing. I would post content, like hardly any likes at all. Most importantly, no leads. I just remember thinking to myself, like, how are these other coaches doing this? These coaches that are earning 7K, 8K, 10K per month. You know, I was spending a lot of time filming and editing things, and then these reels that I was spending so much time on were just completely flopping. And every single time that something didn't work, I would blame the algorithm rather than admitting that truly I just did not know what I was doing. Don't get me wrong though, like, obviously this second quarter, you know, months 3, 4, 5, 6, yes, they were difficult, but there were some great points as well. I had a super supportive family. I was actually making some money from what I loved doing. Ultimately, like, I had got to that 1K per month that I wanted to be by the end of the 12 months. Even though I wasn't making so much money, it was still fulfilling. Like, I still had that purpose, that impact. And that's what really got me to that point where I was just waking up every day, just loving what I was doing, because I had that drive. You know, I was getting good results with my clients as well. That was a really awesome feeling as well. Obviously, probably wasn't earning enough at this point. Go and travel and do what I'm doing now, floating in between Bali and Dubai. But in month 7, my biggest test hit. And this was just my own self-doubt, probably the biggest challenge for me. At this point, I was still plateaued at 1K. So as much as I had that good feeling inside of me deep down, I wasn't growing. Like, the business wasn't growing. It was starting to bring me down a little bit. And even though I was enjoying it, I was asking myself, like, why are people not buying from me? You know, I was asking myself all these questions. I was seeing all these other coaches do really, really well. Like, it was inspiring to see people doing well. It was a little bit frustrating for me as well, because I was obviously putting in that work. At the end of the day, guys, this was just imposter syndrome. And this was causing procrastination in so many other things within my business. The things that were causing the imposter syndrome were ultimately not having confidence in my offer. I didn't realize this in the time straight away, but I started to work it out. I kept asking myself questions. I was journaling these things down, being like, right, what is going on here? I didn't truly have confidence in my offer and who I was basing my coaching program around. I also did not have clarity in my content. So when I was speaking my content, there was no direction. Like, I was just giving out general advice. I wasn't speaking to a specific person. And then I also didn't have confidence in the coaching side and the delivery. Like, yes, I was getting some good results with some early clients, but people were dropping off. It was an up and down situation in that cycle, a downward spiral from there. So like, it was around this point that I started wondering to myself, is this actually what I should be doing here? Should I have stayed in London? Should I have kept the safe job? Maybe I will stay stuck at this plateau of 1K per month, and maybe it isn't something that's sustainable. Like, I really did get to that point because I wasn't seeing any growth for quite a few months. But then I realized, like, that is the last thing I want. That is absolutely just not an option. Thinking back to how I felt when I was back in that job, I just knew that was not what I could do. So this really was the moment for me where the transformation really began for me as a business owner. I came at this imposter syndrome from two angles. One was reframing and focusing on the positives. So this is something that my mentor suggested that I do at the time, just really reminding myself of the wins that I'd had so far, the help that I had given to a couple of friends that I was coaching, the proof as well that I was in good shape myself and I'd had my own transformation. Because ultimately you can always choose where your attention goes. You can always focus on the positives. No matter how bad your situation might be, you can always choose where your energy goes and what you're actually focusing on. So focus on the positives. All situations are neutral, guys. It just depends what lens you look at them with. And then the second angle that I came at this imposter syndrome with, I listened honestly to myself about where I needed to improve with the confidence within myself. I had a reflection, and I now do this at the end of every single week as well, just to make sure that I'm really still staying aligned, and it's such an important part of it. And what it came down to after my reflection was just having clarity in my offer. This was something that was leading to that lack of confidence in all other areas. Like, once you've got clarity in your offer, then it's going to give you clarity in your content, also in your internal systems and your delivery. And that led to me changing parts of my actual program, like the onboarding of clients as well. And all these little things make such a big difference. This made me feel better within myself. Consequently, I was just on a higher frequency. I was just operating. By making these types of changes, it really does just change how you turn up in all other areas of your business, guys. Once you have clarity, it is the most powerful thing in your marketing, in your sales, and your just general effort throughout the business as well, because you are clear with that lens that you're looking at it with. With the imposter syndrome as well, like, my biggest realization really was just reframing it to be imposter syndrome is just really evidence that you're stepping into that future version of yourself, right? Like, no one is gonna feel like, my biggest realization as well was imposter syndrome really is a great thing. It's evidence that you're stepping into a bigger version of yourself. My biggest realization really was that imposter syndrome is just evidence that you are stepping into that bigger version of yourself, right? No one feels like an imposter right at the bottom. You only feel like it when you're climbing. It means that you're raising your standards, guys, and it shows that you actually care about doing things properly. It's going to force you to upgrade your behavior as long as you listen to it in the right way. Make sure you reframe this feeling into a positive, make any changes that you need to as well. It's a signal to you guys. Just make sure you use it in the right way and start focusing on the right things, because it honestly is, if you leverage this in the right way, it's the exact same feeling that you're going to get right before a breakthrough. And that is literally exactly what happened to me. My business scaled rapidly, and I'm talking, I went from doing that 1K in month 6 to then doing 7K in 1 month in my 9th month. That's month 9. From month 6 doing 1K to then 7K in month 9. It was pretty crazy growth, to be honest. And then we did 10K in month 11 just before that, the end of that first year. So I'm happy to say I did break through that plateau, and it was literally just around the corner, guys. Like, you don't know what's coming. It was really the compounding effect of all of my effort. And if I didn't break through the test that I was speaking about before, then I never would have been like where I am today, right? And that's the crazy thing to realize, like, you just don't know what's happening. So right at the end of that first year, I set off to go traveling, and this was amazing, like traveling whilst working in Southeast Asia, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, all the normal places that you go when you're backpacking around Southeast Asia, but then also to Australia as well. Did some photo shoots there with our clients. Such an awesome feeling. Seeing the actual impact I was having in person with our clients was so cool. At this point, like, I had created the freedom that I was looking for, right? The purpose and the impact, like helping people, waking up like with that mission. It is amazing and is what keeps me fueled and always looking to progress. Like, I look back at these struggles, guys, that I'd faced. I'm grateful for them, because if I didn't go through them, then like, if I didn't fail, if I never doubted myself, if I was never embarrassed, I would not have built the skill and the resilience to really get to that next stage and get to where I am today. So once I got to this point where I built the business and the lifestyle that I wanted, people started asking me for advice. I just loved being able to help people, like whether it was people in a corporate job that wanted to leave their job like I did, or PTs that wanted to start taking on some online clients, or online coaches that were just really struggling. Like, people were asking me for advice, just like people gave me advice at the start. I absolutely loved doing it, just helping people. And this is obviously why I got into fitness coaching in the first place, to help people, giving that same sort of advice. And that was the point where I realized that actually I now knew initially more than I thought, right? Which led me to this other mission of helping coaches escape that same trap that I was in through that period where I was struggling. So I got to this point where I was traveling and working. I had, at this point, like 70 clients, and it was pretty awesome. Absolutely loving what I was doing every single day. And I'd built the business and lifestyle that I wanted, and people were starting to ask me for advice. Like, people have been watching me, grow the business and be on this awesome journey, now traveling and stuff. People were asking me for advice, and it was a great feeling. I just loved being able to share my own insights that I found that very fulfilling. And they found it very helpful as well. It made me realize that I got to the point where I knew so much more than I'd actually realized, which led me to another mission of helping coaches that are struggling like I was get to that point where they have their own freedom. They're waking up with their own fulfilling purpose, and they have that predictable income as well, by making everything easier for them, giving them that clarity in their offer, giving them a simple system for their content, and just having simple systems as a whole for their whole business. And also having the identity shift. Step into that future version of yourself that's actually required to scale. Because now, looking back, I can very clearly see that there is an exact same moment that happened to me where a lot of coaches, they do actually quit. Like that moment that I had where I thought maybe this isn't the right thing. There are unfortunately so many coaches that do think that, and they do go back to what they were doing and they fail. This is the moment really that separates people who create that life that they want, or those people that end up going back to the gym floor or going back to their 9 to 5, like whatever it might be. And it's such a shame to see. So I introduced my business mentorship. Some of those internal questions started creeping back in that I had when I was growing my fitness coaching business. So I was growing this new business, and some of these questions came back, like, am I qualified enough? And all these types of questions were coming back, but probably even louder than before. The biggest ones were, like I said, am I qualified enough? What I've always done, I've reinvested my money into mentorships, courses, programs, masterminds, and just being surrounded by people that are just like 10 steps ahead of me. I've had mentors that are making stupid amounts of money, $500,000 a month or more, but that is exactly the point. Like, your standards are gonna raise over time. And like I said, when I was back on that first sales call, I just wanted to make 1K per month, and my accountability coach at the time for that first mentorship was only making 7K per month. And I thought that was just absolutely bonkers. So I really just took a step back and remembered to think back to that past version of myself, that version that just wanted to earn 1K per month. There's a lot of people out there like that too, that are at that stage. So what did I do to overcome this feeling? I invested again. I spent my most money ever yet on another mentorship. And this is always what I've done, guys. Like, when I've needed to elevate and really had that feeling of needing to do something to get to that next level, I've always needed to invest and take that leap. It was super, super scary for me at the time. It was, like I said, it was the most money I've ever spent on a mentorship. It was a big leap for me from what I'd invested before. And it was more to like help me manage both businesses now, hire more team members, and like have a better system. And I'm stepping into that future version of myself, right? It's like a new identity. It's not a small business anymore. Like, I've got team members, people doing different tasks. I'm stepping up as a leader, become a better leader, and take my business mentoring business to the next level and have a super solid system for that as well. I'm leveling up now, really, not just to have this freedom for myself, but to help other coaches do exactly the same thing. So my message to you is this: you do not need to be the absolute best at what you do. You don't need to be the best fitness coach in the world. Like I said, you can do whatever you put your mind to. It really is true, guys. As long as you're a couple steps ahead of the person that you are teaching. They do not want someone that's just like crazy ahead of them anyway. It's a mindset thing. You've got to sort your mindset out. Yes, you might be surrounded by a lot of people online that are just absolutely crushing it. It might even be a case of like you, if you're a fitness coach, you're comparing yourself and your body to people that are in a better shape than you. But as long as you back yourself and you're willing to learn and push through these struggles, when you face them, you will succeed, guys, if you are focusing on the right areas. And that is exactly why I've created my mentoring program, to give coaches or aspiring coaches the exact things that I needed during that time when I was struggling, but all together in one program, to give them clarity, to give them structure, to give them simple systems, leveling up that identity as a business owner, and really giving them that clear path to getting to 10K per month in their own business. I've been through all the BS, guys. I've tried all the different things. I've wasted a lot of money on things that didn't work, lots of courses and new ideas and stuff like that. I've been through the doubt. I've been through the imposter syndrome, the inconsistency in revenue. I've been there, and this is the exact structure to skip all of that. If you are a coach or you're just looking to become one, if you're tired of guessing, if you're tired of those inconsistent months and you're just tired of feeling like you're behind, and you are ready now to truly build a business that gives you freedom, gives you purpose, and gives you predictable income, then here's what I want you to do next. I want you to click the link below this video and book a call in with me. On that call, we're gonna look at where you're at right now. We're gonna build clarity on your offer, on your content, on your systems, and then we're gonna map out exactly how you're going to get to 10K per month in the quickest and most efficient way possible. There's zero pressure to join my mentoring program, but this is truly to give you that plan that you've been missing. Of course, if it feels aligned and if we're a good fit, I will run you through the next steps of how you can join me and the other clients that are absolutely crushing this. If not, you'll still walk away knowing exactly what to be doing next. Either way, I can guarantee that this will be the most valuable 30-minute call that you will ever have in your business journey. Book your call and let's get you moving. Other than that though, guys, honestly, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for listening to my story. Hopefully you found it insightful, and I will see you in the next video.